And while I was in the shower, basically cleaning myself and rubbing my balls, out of nowhere, my teacher ended up walking into the same shower as me saying, "Oh, Bubba, it'll be faster for us to get to class if we both shower together." And at that moment, it got really awkward. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another really embarrassing story. So this story all takes place back in high school, and this was my grade 12 year. Now, in grade 12, I'm not gonna lie to you, I tried taking a bunch of different classes just so I can get some extra credits to graduate a bit earlier. Obviously, that didn't end up happening because I'm not a genius, but one thing was for sure, I ended up joining a lot of different things that I never expected to join. And one of those things were the swim team. Because I remember one day in my grade 12 year, I was walking down the school hallway and one of my friends ended up coming up to me. He came up to me and said, "Yo, Bubba, bro, my crush, I am not even joking. She's literally a part of the swim team. And like, I was debating on joining, but like, I'm not gonna join by myself. So is it cool if you join in with me?" And at that moment, I'm not gonna lie, like I knew how to swim and I was a pretty good swimmer already. So I kind of just thought, how hard could it be? So I ended up telling him, you know what? Yeah, sure, I'm down. I'll join the swim team. And he instantly ends up grabbing my wrist and starts dragging me through the hallways of the school. He was taking me to the classroom of where the swim teacher was, and that's when I realized that the swim coach was actually, funny enough, the art teacher. Now, I've actually done the art teacher before. Me and her, we have done the Devil's Tango a while back in the school year, but obviously me and her, we kept it behind us, and I made her a promise to never join art class ever again. But when I ended up going back into that classroom with my buddy, I remember she looks at me with her eyes wide open in shock that I decided to walk back into the art classroom. But then right away, when she saw me and my friend, he ended up saying, "Oh, hey, so I was just wondering, me and my friend want to join the swim team. Is that cool?" At this moment, she kind of hesitated while she looked at us and said, yeah, you know what? Sure. It's totally fine. Here, just, here's the sheet. Fill this out and meet us tomorrow at the swimming pool across the street. Okay, perfect. Thank you. And at that moment, me and my friend, we ended up grabbing these sheets. We both signed up and we gave it back to her to join the team. But I gotta say, what ends up happening next, honestly, was really, really awkward. Because I remember the next day after school, me and my buddy, we ended up getting our swim trunks on and we started heading to the pool where swim practice was taking place. But right as I walk into the entrance of the pool doors, right away, I end up seeing that the swim coach, aka my old art teacher, ends up grabbing me by the wrist and pulling me into another room. She pulls me into another room and she says, "Bubba, what are you doing here? I thought I told you that you can't attend any more of my classes after what happened." Well, yeah, no, I know that, but at the same time, like, I don't know, I'm just here to support my friend, okay? Like, just ignore what happened between us back then and just move on. It was really weird for me to say that to a teacher of all people, but I mean, at the same time, we did have history. I can tell she was really upset either way though, and she ended up just basically shrugging her shoulders and walking away. And at that moment, I ended up going to my friend and basically just started sitting with him by the edge of the pool. I remember me and him, we were just basically talking about the girl he liked, and we started like kind of like pointing her out to figure out what was the best game plan for him to spit his riz at this girl. But then out of nowhere, like literally 2 seconds later, I ended up seeing my swim teacher enter inside the pool and basically gather us all around for our first practice. Now, obviously it was only the first day, so the only thing we did was just do laps around the pool like 10 different times in different ways and different strokes. And don't get me wrong, I'm a professional at stroking, but not this kind of stroking. Sorry, that was really cringe. But going on with the story, I remember as we were in practice, something really awkward happened where I accidentally ran into my gym teacher while she was in the pool with us. And let's just say me and her, we ended up colliding in the pool and she got a full feel for my eggplant. And me and her, we kind of just ended up looking at each other super awkwardly for like an easy like 40 seconds. And everyone in the swim team recognized that there was definitely something odd going on here. I remember I ended up basically swimming away from the teacher as soon as I realized that. And basically I ended up swimming towards my friend. And my friend just looks at me saying, "Yo, Bubba, is there something I don't know about, bro?" No, nothing at all, man. It's just, I don't know, kind of just ran into her and everyone made it weird. Okay, dude, if you say so. That's probably something I didn't tell you guys. My friend did not know that me and the teacher had history. And the reason for that is because obviously it was a very private thing that only was supposed to be kept between me and her. And I planned to keep that. And also, you know how bad it would be for people to find out that I was the one who did the Devil's Tango with my teacher? Like, it would have been really, really bad. But going on with the story, basically a couple weeks went by and me and the swim teacher, we started to realize that we were able to, you know, be in a class and not make it weird for each other. And on top of that, I'm not gonna lie, I got better at swimming. Comment down below if you guys ever swam or if you guys are good swimmers, because I'm gonna be honest, becoming a good swimmer is not easy for everyone. Some people are just naturally gifted at swimming. But I remember one practice specifically though, after those 2 weeks went by, was one of the most awkwardest things ever. Because I remember my buddy ends up coming up to me and he was really, really annoyed during practice. And I kept looking at him trying to wonder why he was upset and stuff. And then finally, he actually ended up coming up to me saying, "Yo, Bubba, I don't get it, bro. Like, I don't understand." Understand what? Bro, you know the girl I have a crush on in the team? Yeah, what about her? Bro, she has a crush on you, bro. She literally just told me today that she wants your number and she wanted to get it off me. And I didn't give her anything. I just ended up walking away. At this moment, I felt really bad. And honestly, I actually kind of, had a bit of an ego boost. But other than that, I felt pretty bad for my friend because the whole reason we joined the swim team together was for him to pull this girl. So I took it upon myself to make things a little easier on him and better for him, where I actually ended up walking up to the girl that he liked. And I basically told her how I was definitely not interested in her and that she was just not my type. Even though, a year later, me and her, we actually ended up doing the Devil's Tango. But that's a story for a different time. And at this moment, when I told her that she wasn't my type, though, she was really upset and annoyed to the point where she actually ended up basically making a huge 180. And she ended up telling me, oh, well, like, I have like a crush on your friend, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, okay, cool. Well, he's single. Go hit him up. And I basically ended up walking away. Now, yes, I agree. It kind of sucked turning down a girl that was, actually somewhat attractive. But at the same time, though, like, she was just 1 out of 7 million people. And also on top of that, what ends up happening next, I gotta say, made things really, really weird between me and my teacher. Because I remember my teacher ended up basically hearing everything that happened, and she heard the whole conversation between me and this girl. And at this moment, she ends up basically seeing me walk away from this girl, and she ends up walking up to me saying, oh, Baba, I have a question. Why'd you turn down that girl? I don't know. She's just not my type. Baba, just because I'm your teacher doesn't mean you can turn down other girls. Okay? Like, I'm not gonna be jealous or anything. Wait, what? Now, at this moment, I started to realize that my teacher thought the reason I turned this girl down was for her and not for my friend. And one thing was for sure, I wasn't gonna tell her the whole reason why we ended up joining the swim team was so my friend can pull this girl. So I ended up making a lie about how, like, I'm into like older women just so she felt better about herself and would not make it weird between me and her. And well, that was the biggest mistake ever, because I remember we ended up going into swim practice, we did our whole thing, but then afterwards we started to realize that we were late for our next class after swim class was ended. So when everyone noticed the time and even the teacher ended up saying, okay, class is over. Everyone head back to the school and get to your next class as soon as possible. So all of us, we ended up basically started running to the change rooms and started going as fast as we could to get ready for our next class. But there's one thing about me that you guys should know. When it comes to the change rooms, I will never, and I mean never, ever, 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 ever shower in the same change room as everyone else. Like, I'm sorry. I do not want to see everyone's eggplants. I don't want to be sharing a shower with anyone else. Like, I believe in the dropping the soap rule, and I don't want to drop the soap and then get something inside me. Like, I'm just not doing it. So what I decided to do to basically not get late for class, I decided to go into this family change rooms where there's like little private rooms where you could go take a shower in, and I basically went into the one that was empty. Now, there was only one of them that was empty, and I was happy that I caught it, so I ended up going in there and started basically getting into the shower and getting ready for my next class. But as I was in the shower, midway through rubbing my balls, out of nowhere, okay, and I mean out of nowhere, I ended up hearing someone entering the shower stall I was in, and then I realized that it was my teacher's bag that hit the ground beside me. I remember I turned around and I saw her, and I looked at her when I was in the shower saying, oh, sorry, I'm in here. What? Why are you in here, Baba? Why don't you go shower in the guys' change room? Because I'm not gonna shower with everyone else. I'm not weird, bro. Okay, well, I'm gonna be late for my class if we don't shower, so I'm gonna have to join you. Wait, what? At that moment, I remember she ends up taking off her swimsuit in front of me, and she ends up joining me in the shower. And while one thing led to another, I ended up showering with my teacher. Yeah, it was really weird because obviously, including our history together of doing the Devil's Tango, obviously, I got really annoyed, and it got to the point where, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I got bricked. It was super awkward because my teacher was right in front of me. And obviously my teacher did notice I was bricked, by the way. And she said to me, oh my goodness, bro, you still are into me, aren't you? Like, what? Like, I gotta say it was the most awkward moment between me and her. But at the same time, like, I just didn't want to do anything because obviously I didn't want to ruin things between me and her. But that's not even the worst part, because after the shower and everything, me and her, we ended up leaving the change room at the same time. And still students were around the pool area when we came out. So literally everyone in the swim team saw me and her coming out of the change room together. And it did not look good, to the point where my friend kept questioning me about it every single day for the rest of that semester. I never ended up telling him, but hey, if you're watching this video, this is me telling you the truth now, bro. But at the same time, would you guys take a shower with your teacher? Like, be honest, bro. If you wouldn't, then fall for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys.